everything together. Okay. Test, test, test. I'm there. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here and I'm there. Okay, great. I'm going to make that higher. Ooh. Talk to the radio a little bit more than I meant to just now. Hey, Dad. You're the first person to join. Good morning. Oh. It's good that you're here because I'm talking about masculinity, and you are a great example of that. Okay. Let me get myself together. Ooh, glass night's on. That's nice. Promos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 commercials. Hi, everybody's watching. We're getting ready to go on the air. I'm a little bit late. Give me like 2 minutes to get it together. I'll be there, I promise. I had to take an entire bath this morning, so it took longer to get ready. Okay, since we're behind, I'm just going to go ahead and make my disclaimer the next thing that happens. So we'll be on in 2 minutes and 28 seconds. Let me get an oops song. Don't Want to Miss a Thing is gonna be our safety song. There we go. All right, we're just about set. All right, here we go. Let's start Soul Sanctuary. Woo. All right, wait, let me get my notes. Since I have a minute, I want to take my whole minute. Running late, it's terrible. Okay. All right, guys. Let's get started. This is B.B. King and Gladys Knight. They're singing Please Send Me Someone to Love. It's an awesome song. All right, but I'm going to cut them off. If I cut off Rush last week, I can cut them off, right? Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Okay, here we go. Hi. Well, that wasn't quite as smooth as I meant for it to be, soldiers, but good morning. Good morning, everybody. I'm glad you're joining me here for Soul Sanctuary. Good morning, everybody who's on our Facebook group. Hi, it's good to see everybody. I'm sending out some waves right now. We are about 12 minutes behind schedule, which is probably good for people who are waking up this Saturday morning after having a rough night. Last night was Valentine's night, so hopefully everybody's tired and exhausted. If you're up bright and early with me this morning, I'm sorry. You feel like I feel, but we're going to be okay. As a matter of fact, we're starting a really cool series today about masculinity here on Soul Sanctuary, and it's going to be based in the multiple platforms that Soul Sanctuary is available. So Soul Sanctuary is a radio show that I'm doing right now, this live show on Saturday mornings here at kzsm.org. Also, it's a podcast that you can get to through anchor.fm. And we have our own page on Facebook, which is Soul Sanctuary MMF. So those are different ways you kind of get to the show. And as we go through this exploration of healthy masculinity, we are going to utilize those in really cool ways. So I'm changing my camera a little bit, so hopefully I can keep my concentration and do that at the same time, but there's no guarantee. I'm a Taurus, so we tend to be able to focus on like one thing at a time, but I'm going to try to multitask. You'll see how successful that is. Okay, so we're starting our show on, good morning, Leslie, nice to see you. We're starting our series on masculinity today, and that's after we get through our regular check-in about the day and what's going on with astrology and that kind of thing. So the notes for today's show are actually available on Soul Sanctuary MMF. So if you go to Soul Sanctuary MMF on Facebook, you'll be able to see the notes I'm looking at here. These, see? So you can follow along. We have at least 2 Taurus Sasai in the room. So it's a nice grounded room, right? We're not going to be flying off the well, we fly off the handle. Oh, 3 Tauruses. It's a Taurus heavy room. Wait, where's the Aquarius? It's y'all's birthdays. Oh man. Oh, my dad's here. He's a Virgo, but we're all Earth signs, so we're real thick up in here. Okay, let's look at the astrology calendar for today. So today we're in the 3rd decan of Aquarius. So this is the last part of Aquarius. Any people that you know that were born here in this last 10 days of this sign are Pisces-ish Aquarius. So what Aquarius are most known for is, well, one of the things Aquarians are known for is kind of being a little bit of a know-it-all. So if you combine that with what Pisces are known for, which is being congenial, if you have a know-it-all that's congenial, what character does that remind you of? What's a know-it-all that's congenial? Maybe Kramer? I don't know. But that's what kind of Aquarius we have right now. Here until we get to Pisces, which starts in just over a week. So as we go from Aquarius into Pisces, one thing that's happening is Mercury retrograde. So my friend Jenny just posted about this morning. Mercury in retrograde is going to be from February 16th all the way through March 9th. Now, March 9th is important because that's the birthday of my Twinkies. They're going to be 28. Happy birthday to them. So as they turn 28, we come out of Mercury being in retrograde. So they're going to have a fantastic birthday no matter what. Hey, Cousin Chris. Hey, Cindy. Good to see you guys. So while we're in this Mercury in retrograde, here's what to expect. Now remember, don't kill the messenger. Tip the messenger. That's what you do. Go to Cash App. Carry your behind over to hightarot.com. You tip the messenger. You don't kill her. Okay, here's what it is. Pisces is a time of deep internal and spiritual reflection. There may be many things that are unclear, causing miscommunication and confusion. There's a sense of rationality, and it's overshadowed by the intuitive mind. However, you're meant to use this time to recreate and dig deeper. This can be a time of great healing as themes of purpose and karma are uncovered. So when something says it's a time of great healing, I immediately hear hard. It's going to be rough. A time of great healing. When do you heal? When you're hurt, when you're injured. You have to heal injuries. And so we're talking about healing, and it's talking about you're supposed to dig deeper. This is dealing with some of those shadow things, some of those tapes that you've been playing for yourself since you were a very, very young child, some of the defense mechanisms you've come up with, some of the more complicated defense mechanisms. Not just the regular dodging a question, but I mean sarcasm, I mean self-referential comedy, I mean deep defense mechanisms that mean deep wounds that need to be addressed. That's what this next few weeks is. How many weeks is that? How many days is that between February 16th and March 9th? Can somebody tell me how long that is? I'll hopefully somebody in the room will say it. I'll tell you guys after the break. We need to go into the first break. This first section is a little bit shorter because I did get here late. But after it, we will talk about much more fun stuff. I have a whole lot of stuff. Oh, hey, there's a commercial. All right. All right. Well, that was a flow. Things happen. We did that, and we did that. Next, we're going to do tarot. 22 days. Thank you. 22 days of Mercury retrograde. Does that have anything to do with the fact that, I wonder if that has anything to do with how 2020 equals 4 and 22 days equals 4. I wonder if they're related this year for this Mercury retrograde. Hi, everybody. Hey, if you want to do stuff in the room, do you want to tell me your favorite masculine character? Who's your favorite masculine character? Like Thor? Anybody who's a dude. Or it doesn't have to be a dude, it just needs to be masculine, actually. One of my favorite masculine characters is Shug Avery from The Color Purple. She was really masculine. I mean, she was a woman, She was really, really masculine to me. All right. Just skip past this, I think. Because I don't want to stay very long today. Hi, Cindy. Can you provide for me some of your favorite masculine characters? Who's your favorite? No, I'm gonna guess. I know who Cindy's is. Hold on. I know who Cindy's favorite masculine character is, or one of them. I'll say one of them. Obi-Wan Kenobi. You have to tell me if I'm right. I don't know. Who else is in the room? I'll guess your favorite masculine character. Thank you, Cindy. I think I got it wrong because she laughed at me. What is your favorite masculine character? She's laughing at me. I must have gotten it wrong. Who else is in the room? I can guess. Let's see how good of a psychic I am. I don't think I'm psychic at all. Jackie's in the room. Jackie, I think. Father figure. Yeah, that's right. Jackie, I think your favorite masculine character. One of your favorite masculine characters. Oh, you're difficult. Who would be your favorite? Yours, like Jason Momoa. Jason Momoa? Ah! Look! Oh my God! As I was saying Jason Momoa, Cindy was typing Jason Momoa. So Jackie, I don't know if that one's yours or not, but Cindy shoved her energy onto me. How funny is that? That is so funny. So Jason Momoa is all of our favorite masculine character right now. We were just saying earlier this week. I was just saying earlier this week how we hate Lisa Bonet because she stole my taste in men. She went after Prince and she was with Jason Momoa and Lenny Kravitz and just like everybody I would date. So sick of her. Oh, he's very sexy. Dad, are you still in the room? I can guess yours. I don't know if my dad's there. Oh, my dad, and he said Yoda. I would have guessed somebody. No, Dad, I would have guessed Star Trek, a Star Trek character for you, because you watch Star Trek so much. I would have guessed Spock. That's what I would have guessed for you, Dad. It's not Spock. Are you sure? Think about that. Spock might be one of yours. Yeah, she did. I don't talk about Lisa Bonet that much. She had a beautiful baby, but she didn't have to go after all of them. She could have gone after one of them. She went after all of them. That's just ridiculous. There's no reason for that. She's just trying to make me mad. So this song has 9 more seconds, and then there's going to be 3 commercials, and then we'll be back onto the show. In the meantime, let me write down, who did we come up with? We said Jason Momoa, Yoda, and Obi-Wan Kenobi. So, let me put that. Jason Momoa, Yoda, Momoa, and Obi-Wan. That's what we said. Who? Anybody else? Spock hides his passion. Not. What? He doesn't have passion. He's an alien. Yeah, Lisa Bonet's pretty powerful. Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. Somebody's sending me stuff. Okay. Me and my dad are arguing about Spock as a masculine figure in front of everybody. And we've got like 2 more commercials. I think this is it. I'm going after this commercial. I don't know. I hope that's it. You're okay. We just got started, Brandy. Thanks for joining. Brandy, tell me your favorite masculine character. Okay. Yvonne. Hey everybody, we are on the other side of our first break. We had a little bit of a wonky start this morning. There's a couple of people who just got here. Thank you very much for joining us on Facebook. You really didn't miss much. I only got on the air at like 8:12, so you're fine. Don't worry about it. Okay, we are looking at masculinity today, and after we go through a little bit more about the day specifically, I'm starting a series on healthy masculinity because the term toxic masculinity is being used ad nauseum, and I don't think anybody knows what masculinity is, let alone toxic masculinity. But I'd like to talk about that with everybody and get this discussion going. Also, the reason I want to do this series is because when I look at government and when I look around at the world, men spend a whole lot of time talking about what's going on between our legs and what's going on with females. They spend a whole lot of time trying to define what happens with us and what's happening, and I just don't appreciate it. Why are they voting? So if they're going to sit around talking about us, we're going to sit around talking about them. Just I'm going to be fair about it, and I'm going to include some masculine examples that I think are fantastic, and I'll be for the dudes, unlike they are for us. But I'm saying, we're allowed to have those conversations too. Just because we don't doesn't mean we don't think about it. So, let's go into healthy masculinity right after we talk about the cards for today. So today has 3 cards because it adds up to, depending on how you add it up, either 21 or 12. That's 2 different cards, and when you add the 1 and the 2 together, you get 3. So there are 3 distinct cards that go with today, and they are the universe, which is the 21, 12 is the hanged man, and then 3 is the empress. So we have these 3 cards that focus us onto today. And here's the thoughts that I had about this spread. Now, before I get into the thoughts I had about this spread, I want to talk about what it looks like. If you are not looking at the notes for the day, on the spread, the first 2 characters are nude, and then the last one, the empress, just has her arms out. So as far as whether or not this is a time to be vulnerable, 2/3 yes, 1/3 no. As far as whether or not this is a time to use your feminine energy versus your masculine energy, 2/3 of the characters are female, 1 is a dude. The only dude that's here is upside down because he's the hanged man. So, if you are going to have any masculine energy, you need to use it from a different angle. There we go. So as far as what to do with how to handle situations, whether it be direct, passive, masculine, active, feminine, indirect, you want to be mostly feminine. And if you do bring that masculinity out, do it from a different perspective, because the guy who's here is the hanged man. Okay? And so then my thoughts about it this morning when I posted it were, today is about your entire journey, this whole lifetime. As you think about what you've experienced so far, consider how you have responded to divine messages. Does it take 3 pictures to fall before you call a family member? Does it take 3 people mentioning something before you research it because it's relevant to your dream? How hard-headed are you when it comes to being receptive? Are you so busy keeping up the BS appearance that you can't pay attention to divine messages? Good question, right? That's that whole keeping up with the Joneses stuff. Do you numb out from your life? Do you numb out from your life so much that an actual death or an actual illness is the only warnings that you can hear? And what can you do today to, as Judge Judy says, put on your listening ears? So how can you go from being really hard-headed and hard to communicate with, as far as God or the universe is concerned, to being really easy, really fertile? How can you be fertile ground? Isn't that what it's called in the Christian faith? They say, I don't remember, something about that. These are old references. Y'all gotta give me these. I get references wrong a lot. But the idea is, are you receptive to the information that's coming to you from whatever you believe in? If it's your subconscious, if it's your ancestors, if it's God, if it's the universe, life, just the process of life. Are you seeing the signs? Are you seeing the signs? Are you looking at the red flags? Are you hearing the messages? Are you paying attention that you feel nauseated every time you're around this one person? Right? Why? Ask yourself, why do I feel sick around this person, right? If you find yourself, having to check in with yourself a whole lot, and every time you check in with you, you're sad, What in your life is causing that? Listen to the signs. And if you're not sure where to start, just start with your emotions. As Abraham Hicks says, or the law of attraction, all that stuff talks about there's only two emotions, good ones and bad ones. They feel good or bad. And we call them all different kinds of things, but there's just good and bad. Start with the ones that feel bad and dig into them. Dig into them. That's what today is about. So now you have like two kind of different assignments to kind of go off into. And as soon as we get back from the break, wow, I didn't mean to be teasing this for the first half of the show, but I guess I have. So on the other side of this break, which won't have a song, which doesn't have a song, we're going to talk about healthy masculinity. So sorry to put y'all through another break. I really didn't mean to do it this way, but I will talk about it on the other side of this break. Enjoy. I need a drink. Okay. Hi, Tammy. Hi, everybody. If you haven't sent your masculinity, you can send it. Picard? Yeah, Picard's a great father figure. Tarzan. Oh, Tarzan. It's a short little commercial. Yeah, I think the Hulk counts. Oof. She's a Giorno. I like her commercial. I like Rebecca a whole lot. If you want to listen to 60s, 70s music, just listen to Rebecca Doll's show. She's a sweetheart, and the show's really great. I was on it when I very first started doing radio. She invited me over there, and she's just an amazing person. She has fantastic energy. Okay, so we are finally here. We have arrived at the station. I've been teasing it for a week and a half hour. So finally, we're going to get into starting our discussion about healthy masculinity. Now, there's so many reasons why I feel like this is an important topic, not the least of which is that I'm raising two masculines right now. I have two little boys. They're school age. And as we get closer to releasing them into the universe, I want to, or not to the universe, to the world, I wanted to make sure that I do that in a way that makes sure that they are productive citizens and good examples of masculinity. So, and recently, in addition to the fact that recently I became friends with someone who is dating someone who is not out of the closet. So the person I know is out of the closet, and someone who is not out of the closet. And so there's such an interesting perspective that it's starting to make me think about as far as what it means to be in a relationship and what masculinity means, because I didn't realize how much of it was for show. When you think about whether if you're dating somebody who you're not allowed to date, like what you can do and where you can go is all kind of controlled by that idea. And how much do you resent the person that you're dating? Like here's where I was really thinking. So if you're gay and you're out, and you're dating somebody who's gay and who is not out, you have already accepted whatever consequences come with being out. You've accepted whatever your friend's reaction is going to be, whatever family's reaction is going to be, whatever society's reaction is going to be. You've accepted that you're going to deal with that. So if you're in a relationship with somebody who hasn't done that, doesn't that stifle you? Like, I feel like if that was me, I wouldn't date anybody who wasn't out of the closet, because that's a pain in my butt that I have to go sneaking around and doing stuff that has nothing to do with me anymore. Like, I'd rather just be with somebody who's out too. That way, we can just act like humans, right? So I'm fascinated by the relationship, and so I ask a lot of questions, and I'm trying to live vicariously through, because just understand psychologically what's happening. And in that, I started thinking about masculinity. That's where the kind of spark of the conversation started. And then I saw that there was this radio guy who did this dude was doing a show called Beta Male Bullies. It was called Beta Male Bullies on YouTube. And I was like, beta male bullies? How can a beta male be a bully? Can't only an alpha male be a bully? Like, okay, so let me see what this says. So this is the dude who did this video. His name is it's by the Black Authority, and he's real militant, and he has some really problematic language. Like he's very opinionated and biased. And so if you're sensitive, you probably don't want to listen to it. You can just listen to my interpretation of it, because I'm not going to do all the things that he does with it. But what I am going to use from his diatribe, I'll call it, is his explanation of alpha male versus beta male, because I think that that's an important place to start the discussion about healthy masculinity. I think a lot of the ideas that we have about masculinity that are negative come from beta males, because they tend to behave in a way that is not beneficial to their gender. So we're going to go through and like talk about what does that mean? What is alpha males and what are beta males? And so here's kind of the data dump of how we got to this, where we're going to have this discussion. And then I promise we'll get into at least one point of it before the next break, all this prepping, right? So I just did a little bit of a background about myself, because I don't know, I have people who are just now meeting me and they don't know my history and that kind of thing. And so here's what I said. My compassion for the unfair treatment of men runs deep. I remember noticing that every time we did a dress code, men are always shorted because they only have one choice for bottoms, and women have like 4 choices for bottoms. So I hated dress codes. As I came to understand family court, I noticed the unfair bias towards mothers that was negatively affecting men. So I hated family court. Then the fucking police brutality against unarmed citizens has me feeling some type of way about that particular profession. Just some background on my general disposition. So last week, when I was listening to this editorial piece on YouTube, and its specific name is 2/9/2020 Beta Male Bullies by the Black Authority. He was speaking against 2 men who were all kinds of funny style over the death of Kobe Bryant. His description was, I'm not going to read his description. It's got problematic. I'm skipping past that. In this video, this YouTuber with over 52,000 followers breaks down the difference between alpha and beta males. One of his first points is that alpha males do not claim they are alpha males. They don't utter that. They don't say it. So I called that through my mind, and I was thinking about, have I ever heard one of the gentlemen that I consider an alpha male say, I'm an alpha male? And that was kind of the sparkling diamond. That's the spark that started this whole thing. So then I went on Facebook, and I was like, hey, nobody I know who's an alpha male says they're an alpha male. And of the people who responded, the ones who I consider alpha males just went on with their lives because they know. I didn't know. It was news to me. And then there were some people who said, oh, they do say that they do say it. And I'm like, well, maybe you've heard of them saying it, but I've never heard that. I've never heard it. And I know some alpha males. My most beautiful and favorite example, one of my favorite people that ever came to the planet, he's not here anymore. His name is Jeff Mayo, and he was a beautiful alpha male, and he was one of my favorite people. He worked with me 20 years ago, and for several years, and he taught me a lot about myself. He actually was a favorite of my big sister, probably for the same reasons. Because we have the same dad, and we were raised around the same kind of expectations around dudes and what dudes do and stuff. And Jeff was 6'something, like 6'5", I guess. He was really tall. And he had all of the fantastic things that come along with a guy who's really tall. And he was a supervisor. So he was tall, he had some authority, and I believe he was a Leo? If he wasn't a Leo, he really acted like a Leo. He was very metrosexual, and he was just such a man. He was so beautiful. Such a beautiful person, and he died a couple years ago. It really shook a lot of people that worked with him, because everybody who worked where we worked knew him, and if you didn't know him personally, you knew of him and you wanted to know him. All the dudes wanted to be like him, all the women wanted to be around him, and he was just everything that you could think of as far as what an alpha male means. And I also like the idea that talking about him is cool because he's not here anymore. If I talk about people who are actually still here, they're still up for scrutiny because they could screw up from now on. And I'll probably reference some of the people I know who are on the planet right now. But he's not here anymore. He died a little bit younger. We all miss him really, 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 really do. He actually had a, if you were under his tutelage or he was helping you with figuring yourself out, which he just tended to do, he was really, really helpful, then you were part of what we called JMU, which was Mayo University. So it was kind of like a code word we had that we would say around the call center, like if you did something like covering yourself a certain way or just the way that you moved, it would be referred to as JMU because it came from Jeff Mayo. So he's going to be kind of the focus of, or I'll probably refer to him a lot because that's where a lot of positive masculinity that I experienced came from in this generation. I mean, my dad's fantastic. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't know what any of this is. And y'all know how I feel about that. But as far as like seeing it in action and every day at work, that's where I had this kind of daily operations kind of manual of masculinity, which was Jeff Mayo. And he's still spectacular. I love him so much. I'm so sorry he's not here anymore. But it's kind of magical and poetic and correct that he died young like he's not the kind of person you ever want to see like dilapidate, like who loses any of his function. That would be one of the most terrible things. It would be like that movie Instinct when Anthony Hopkins opened the door and there was this huge gorilla inside of this like zoo. So Anthony Hopkins opened the door and the gorilla didn't move. And so then Cuba Gooding Jr. was like, why isn't it moving? And he's like, well, because the enslavement's in his head. He can't move even though the door's open. So I just bring that up as an example of like how sad it looks when you see some big, beautiful, majestic being no longer acting in its natural capacity. And that is the only piece I can get from the idea that he's not on the planet anymore. So that's kind of where we're going to start basing some of this look into masculinity. Included in this series, we're going to look at masculinity through the different pantheons that exist that people base their spirituality on. There's the Greek pantheon, there's the Orisha, there's the saints that are in Catholicism. I'm not going to spend too much time with that because I'm morally opposed to that entire group right now. But we're going to look at that. I'm going to have some of my favorite alpha males come in, and we'll be contributing some different pieces that there'll be writings on. And so you'll have the opportunity to participate. If you go to the Soul Sanctuary MMF page, that's where most of the action is going to take place. And then we'll talk about here on the show. So we'll talk about some of our favorite examples of masculinity that I got from a post that I put in earlier. In just a moment, we have one more break to get through, and we'll talk on the other side. I'll see y'all in a minute. Okay. Oh, there's no more Loveline commercials. It's all gone. There's a show that left. It's no longer here. Oh. I went to go play one. Well, I was going to play a commercial for Loveline, so y'all go look for a Loveline's podcast. That's the commercial I was going to play. It's gone because he moved. He's done. So only one more commercial. You have like 30 more seconds. So you can run and grab coffee, go to the bathroom or whatever. that. We're now streaming worldwide, apparently. That's what the last commercial just said. I didn't know that. That's cool. Hey, so we're on the other side. We're in our last chunk of Soul Sanctuary this morning. I'm glad you were able to join us. If you did, if you're listening to this on a replay, hi. Drop a note and a comment. Make sure you guys go to Hi Tarot, HAITAROT on YouTube, and like and subscribe and do whatever people are supposed to do over on YouTube. Okay, so this last part, one of the things to kind of open up our look into masculinity that we've started, and healthy masculinity, is I asked everybody to give me some examples of their favorite of good masculinity or something like that, and on Facebook. And so I got lots of answers. I didn't print that out, so I have to go from memory. And a discussion that we had during the very first commercial break, Jason Momoa has to be on our list of masculinity. I'm sorry. That didn't even come from me. That came from the room. but it's there. So there's Jason Momoa. My dad said Yoda, which is fantastic. I thought my dad would say Spock, but he said not Spock because Spock hides his passion. To which I argued Spock doesn't have any passion, but we'll continue that argument. I'll let you know who wins later. After that, Obi-Wan Kenobi was one, I guess. Also, Tarzan is an honorable mention. Picard, if you're a Trekkie. And the Hulk. The Hulk is also part of what people consider healthy masculinity. Isn't that funny? So I wonder how many of those we'll still consider examples of healthy masculinity at the end of our series. And the other thing about this series about healthy masculinity is, instead of saying it's going to be for the summer or it's going to be for the month or whatever, I didn't put an end date on it because I don't know how long it's going to take to dig into this. Maybe in 2 shows we'll be fine and we don't need to talk about it anymore and there's no more topics. But I'm pretty sure it's going to take like more than that. Because we're talking about, it's such a big concept. I think there's entire books written on it. And I'm positive that most of the personality disorders that I see come from a lack of the paternal nurturing. And so I'm pretty sure there's a big chunk of topics that are underneath of masculinity and healthy masculinity. And to understand that there is not for healthy masculinity. For those who have an agenda to kind of like erase femininity and masculinity, I don't agree. And I don't think that metaphysics agrees. Because if you look at Chinese metaphysics, you talk about yin and yang, and that's where the, what's that symbol? It's yin yang. Sorry. It's the yin yang symbol. I feel like it was like the Austin Powers line. Anyway. The yin yang symbol is all about that. That's feminine versus masculine energy. And you look at the elements inside of like tarot and astrology. All of the elements are assigned to a gender or to a masculine or feminine. So I definitely believe that there's a difference between feminine energy, which I believe is indirect, and I believe it's like moon energy, and masculine energy, which I believe is direct and like sun energy. And I believe that those two are, that difference is needed. There's somebody looking into the studio. No, he's walked away. He walked away because you heard me say there's somebody looking in the studio. I'm glad that worked. Anyway, I lost my complete train of thought because some strange person just distracted me. The whole thing is glass, so I can see it, and now it's gone. So hopefully I'll be able to glue that together with something that makes sense back in post, because I don't even know what I was talking about now. I got really like nervous when the dude was just standing there. I'm okay. Everybody's safe. Nothing's going on. We're all good. But we were just talking about, erasing masculine and feminine energies and like kind of blending them together. Just like the idea of erasing races. I don't want to erase races either. What needs to happen is that the correct credit needs to be given to the correct people. We don't need to act like there's not different kinds of people. We just got to give the credit to the right ones. Do you know what I mean? So just like that, like I don't want to erase that females are different, females and males. It's just that we have to give the right credit to the right ones. Feminine energy. Females, I have found female energy and the women that I tend to associate with to be so resourceful It's insane. I have a cousin who can turn 5 cents into $17 within 3 minutes. She is just a magician. She's a magician. I don't know how she does it. The most resourceful person I know. And I've seen my dad go into a room and change the temperature. I've just seen him just by standing there. If he was mad, then the energy got really, really erratic. And I've seen if he's calm, then the energy just calmed down. And he never went in there talking about, hey, I'm going to change the energy in this room. He just stood there. And then the world started spinning around him. And I don't know that I believe that every man's a warlock, because I don't think so. I don't think so. But I do believe in energy. And I do believe that when it's used and appropriated correctly, that magical looking things can happen. Things can happen so smoothly that it seems and it feels like and it looks like magic. It'll be fun to talk about the feminine energy and the kind of the really cool stuff I've seen happen with feminine energy too. But before we do that, I'm going to talk about masculine energy. Not because I think man came first, because of Christian theology, but because they're so taken advantage of in the society because women have decided that we want more stuff. And I think that's great, and I think we should go and get more stuff. But I don't think that it should be at the expense of masculinity and what men mean to society. That energy needs to be here. It needs to balance and ground at least fluffy people like me. I can't go through life without masculine energy around me. I need that grounding and that straightness. I mean, that is important for me to grow straight. And so hopefully through our discussions and through what I've found to be kind of the balance of the masculine and the feminine, I can bring people more online into trying to see where the harmony is between the two instead of erasing them, because they're not going to go away. I'm raising whatever kiddos I have, whatever gender they associate with, I'm going to raise them as that gender. I won't raise them genderless, because I don't believe that. I don't like that. There's parts of the conversation we're getting into now here as a society, as we're opening up and allowing all different vibrations to kind of sing together. There's parts that we're getting into that I'm uncomfortable with, and I feel like it's a great time to start talking about what I am comfortable with and what I do understand and what I've come to know in all the irritation I've experienced in the 44 years I've been on this planet. And so as we do that, hopefully we can keep the conversation open, because there might, come some opinions that y'all don't agree with me, like, at all, because it's too closed or something. But if we've established a respect amongst each other, then you can ask me about it, and I can ask you about yours, and we can figure out what we're going to do. Because as the world looks different, we have to figure out what we tell our kiddos. And it's not everything. By the way, last part of my rant. This is the last part. But it's very important. Now that we're opening up what kind of people we're allowing around our kids, there's starting to be discussions about things that I don't want discussed around my kid. I don't care what sexuality you are. I don't want you talking about it around my 5-year-old. He doesn't need to understand what you do with whom and for how long. Who cares? I don't care if it's straight or crooked. Why would you be talking about that around a 5-year-old? We're getting real loose about the kind of things we're talking about around our kids, which is gross. Also, it makes them open to adult topics that they don't need to hear. And so while we continue to, expand our acceptance, and while we continue to grow our tolerance and love every human just the way they came to the planet, what doesn't need to be included in that is discussions about your bedroom practices around my 5-year-old. Because I don't care who you are. If you do that, I'm coming for you. And you have to deal with me. Now you have that. Now everybody has that. Now you understand that. So if you start with that BS, or even around my 11-year-old, I don't want him listening to whatever opinions that you have about. First of all, 97% of people are broken as far as when it comes to sexuality. And so I don't want you sharing your ideas with them anyway. Right? And then if you are, I certainly don't want you to want them to have any idea what your personal preferences are. Who cares? And if you find it appropriate to say that to and around my babies, I'm telling you, I'm coming. I'm telling you. And I think that we all need to kind of take back discretion while we're going through this and while we're changing and opening our arms and allowing more people to come in without masks on, let's also remember discretion. Some things just aren't appropriate to talk about around everybody. There is kitchen table talk. There is privacy. There are adult conversations. I'm not talking about this stuff with your kid or in front of your kid. So there we go. I'm now off my soapbox. I'll take my soapbox directly to the farmer's market where I'm going to be from 9 to 1 today. So come by and get a reading. Also, tonight I'm going to be at Witch's Market. Witch's Market at Cosmic Coffee in South Austin. So I'll be at Cosmic Coffee in South Austin tonight from, I believe it's 6 to 11. Tomorrow there is a Witch's Market at Wake the Dead, and it's Abracadabra Market, and that starts at 5 o'clock. So I'll be there. I'm gigging a whole lot this weekend, but it only matters if I make money. So, and there's a really cool way of, I've just changed my payment structure. So I actually have $5 readings. You can actually come with $5 in your pocket and get a very, very short reading. So I've expanded it. I'm more expensive, but I'm more accessible. And I think this is going to work really well. So come out and you can get to experience that with me if you'd like. All my Soul Sanctuary soldiers, make sure that you are part of Soul Sanctuary MMF. That's Mary Frank on Facebook. Make sure you've gone to High Tarot on YouTube, which is HAITAROT, and like and subscribe. You can request a reading any way that you can contact me, and we will set you up. I guess that is the end of the show. The notes for the show are available on Soul Sanctuary MMF, and I am going to put them back up on High Tarot. If there's anything that you need from me, reach out to me, please, and let me know. And I will see a whole lot of you this weekend because I'm going to be out gigging like most of the time. So if you do happen by, I would not be mad at a coffee. In the meantime, enjoy Soul Sanctuary replays here on KZSM. You can go to anchor.fm to listen to old shows, and you can actually watch a whole lot of them on YouTube. So I'll see you guys in the room later. Goodbye, Soul Sanctuary people on KZSM. We're gone. Okay. And then goodbye to everybody in the Facebook room. Bye, guys. I'll talk to y'all soon. I'm going to go get Farmer's Market to gig.